Good evening, ladies, gents, broskies, and broskets. It is I am Jamie Rose. I'm here with my compadre, Mr. Scalz himself, and we are the Hot Tag. This is the new podcast brought to you guys by Off the Top Media here, and we're just, two guys wanting to fresh up the scene, and that's what we're going to do here. This is a whole new podcast, a whole new format, and we are excited to bring it to you guys. Scouts, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm excited, a little nervous, not gonna lie, but I am super excited. Normally, we don't do guests, especially on the first show, but you can't say off the top media without saying this guy, and he is the co-founder of Off the Top Media. He is one of the founding fathers. He is the original tribal chief of this stuff. He is the host of Spotlight with Shadow. This is Shadow.
What's going on, boys?
Shadow, how are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm good. In the middle of a move. I'm just enjoying myself. Thought I'd come in and chat with you guys.
Absolutely. Anything you guys want to get off of your chest before we get started today onto our topics?
I'm good for now.
Yeah, I mean, let's see
Alrighty.
where these topics take us. I'm
Alrighty.
sure we can get into some things off our chest in there.
Absolutely. So last night was SmackDown in the 3-hour format, which don't even start on wrestling on a 3-hour format during the weekday. But it was a great show. It had a lot of great segments, actions, everything you want from a wrestling show. We saw the celebration of Tiffy time. We saw some stuff going on with the bloodline. We saw Cody. We saw KO. What was some parts of SmackDown that you guys liked, didn't like? Anything that you guys were like, this is something that we should have watched?
I won't be honest. I didn't watch it.
Well, we know you don't really watch wrestling, like wrestling.
I was
So
busy.
I've actually been watching it today. I really enjoyed the Nakamura LA Knight match. I was upset that it ended with a DQ. I felt that
Right.
that a true winner should have been decided on this. It shouldn't have ended that way. So that's one thing I did not like about SmackDown.
I love everything that Kevin Owens is doing on TV. I mean, Kevin Owens is going out and saying what the people really want. I mean, what the true intellectuals know about Cody Rhodes. He's telling the truth. KO is right in my opinion. I think Kevin Owens and the work that he's been doing is some of the best work lately of his of recently of his recent career. And for him to really go out and take what was his, I'm happy for him. Welcome in, Will. Welcome in, Al.
I do want to touch on the Shinsuke thing, though, if I can, for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
His entrance now with the samurai look. Oh,
so cool.
I got a full-on hard-on just seeing it.
Dude, Shinsuke,
his doesn't matter, man.
I mean,
Jamie Scalz and Emo Eddie.
I mean, his whole new persona, per se, like the presentation of Shinsuke Nakamura has been top notch, and WWE has been doing a great job with it. You know, and then the celebration of Tiffy time. Scalz, I know you got some opinions about that.
What opinions?
Yeah.
I have been rooting for her to win this belt since she got the briefcase. Like, I've been waiting for this moment to happen. I've been excited to see when she cashes in. I'm very happy that she won last week. She picked the right time to do it, and it was a successful cash-in. I was afraid that they were going to have her be the one to fail, and I'm glad that they decided not to do that.
Right. I'm glad that they didn't have her fail, but see, Will, I can see that. You know, that promo that she did last night. At first, I was like, who's the heel in all this?
But she's not a
Like,
heel.
I know, because that's the point. But the promo sounded a little bit heelish.
Yeah,
But it's like,
she's a tweener. She does both.
yeah, tweener.
Because the way she won it is a heel move.
We don't. But that's the thing, like, are you gonna be a good person, gonna be that star, or are you just gonna be on the line? That's like, I'm really feeling at this point, and I think everyone knows it. I think she knows it. I don't think she's gonna be champ for very long. I think she's gonna be a placeholder. She'll probably have it for about 2 months, maybe 3.
And
I
that's
think.
not really a placeholder.
I mean, compared to how long people have been having the belts as of late,
Yeah.
that's
But that's
pretty
what's
transitional to
happened
me.
with Roman, what's happened with Cody, what happened with Gunther. Those are the minority in the way that the belts normally are in WWE. It's
Well, that
normally a
was
shorter reign.
pre Triple H.
See, Alan's
I,
saying that she's going to lose it within 30 days.
she
Now, if she
probably will
loses it
lose it.
within 30 days, that's a placeholder.
Right.
If
I
she
mean, I
holds
don't.
it to Mania, I think she won it and gets her shot at Mania.
Well, I don't.
That
I
gives
don't
her her
think she's
moment.
holding it to Mania.
See, I do.
I feel
I
like they
think
should have given her the Seth Rollins treatment with the Heist of the Century for the female division.
that could have. That could. There you go. That's that's definitely a point. Definitely a talking point. I think
So
that would have been
if
really
she holds
cool.
it till
And
Mania, then she's not a transitional champion. Is that what you're saying, Will? Anything before that, she is.
I think anything up to or before Chamber.
I think our run needs to hit Survive SummerSlam before it becomes relevant.
I think whoever, if it's Tiffy or it's the next champ, I think they're holding it for Charlotte. I think Charlotte's coming back. I think that
Right.
person's holding it for Charlotte.
Correct. And it's going to be at Mania, which means she'll hold the belt for more than 90 days. Because Mania is the 19th and the 20th. She won it on the 3rd.
Yeah, but then you also got to think, if you're just being devil's advocate, is Bayley going to win that back? And are we going to have Bayley and Charlotte,
I don't think so.
the horsewoman? I mean,
Charlotte's going to either win the Rumble or the Elimination Chamber to get the title shot. So I don't think she's gonna get a title shot right away when she comes back like she normally does. I think she's gonna have to earn her way in this time.
I don't necessarily think it's going to be the case, but she's going to be winning a match for that to be the case.
Yeah, but she's come back in the past before and first night, and then she has a title match in the next week.
All I know is who is going to be the champ when Charlotte takes it back. I don't think
it's
that's
gonna
going
be
to be Tiffany.
Tiffany. I think it's gonna be Tiffany.
I don't think
Tiffany had a great match with Becky too last year.
I don't think
That
Charlotte
was a
returns
great
to
match in
the
NXT, but
I don't think Charlotte returns to the SmackDown brand. I think she goes to Raw. Bigger story to be told with Rhea Ripley.
But she's on SmackDown. Like that's the
Yeah,
brand
there's a
she's on.
transfer
So
window.
so unless they announce that she's been transferred, that's
You
different.
don't need to announce it. It can be moved quietly.
where's her husband wrestling?
Are they still a thing?
Yeah, they're still a thing.
Who?
Andrade.
Yeah,
Who?
Andrade. Oh, don't beat
He's
that
being-
guy.
That's how irrelevant he's been WWE again. Who?
Right.
Oh,
Unless they also transfer him, then they won't move her.
yeah,
Because that's in
exactly, Al.
contract. You are with your significant other. I just ask because I don't see a lot of them posting together.
Right.
That's why.
That's because he's on the road a lot. She's not on the road a lot.
They travel one day. They don't do they do 2 shows now, 2 maybe 3.
Okay.
There's no live events anymore.
Yeah, and there's
it's
no
still
live
real to
events
me,
until
okay?
March right now.
That makes me
All
sad for
right.
Canada.
Well, that's kind of what I got. Any other thoughts on SmackDown?
3 hours is too
Heyman,
fucking long.
I,
Heyman
I
is a genius,
agree. Heyman is a genius, and I
and
really
3
loved.
hours is not too long. They just need more talent for SmackDown. They don't have enough talent for 3 hours yet.
When I first started on this network with all you lovely people, I did the Raw slot. I hated it. His
Yeah.
3 hours was way too long.
But if you watch Triple H books a 3-hour show better than he does a 2-hour show.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying that, but it's kind of hard staying up for a 3 hour show.
Oh, I'm sorry if you're an
We're
old man.
old and we were children.
I'm old. Yeah, exactly. But I do think, I mean, if the ratings are for it, then I guess we're for it. That I'm on team content at the end of the day. And
We want
Roman Reigns declaring for the Rumble, and he doesn't even have to be there. Boom, perfect. And I don't know if we're necessarily going to get Roman v Cody 3. I don't think so. I think that's going to be another conversation, and we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But on to our next topic, we got Raw on Netflix. Raw on Netflix debuted this last Monday to a crazy, crazy up. It was all over the charts. It was number one on Netflix, and we saw The Rock give a 30-minute promo, pretty much what people were saying was killing the business, and everything that Triple H done in 30 minutes. I never saw it that way. But Raw on Netflix hit high numbers. Was it like 4 point something mil? I don't have the exact number on me.
2.6 mil households in the US,
US.
4.9 million households worldwide.
This is
That's
why
not
it keeps
counting, and that's not counting 92 countries that Raw is not on Netflix yet.
and this is why I
And,
keep Scalz around, guys.
and those countries include Italy, France, India, 3 of the major ones.
That's my boy Scalz right there.
Major is debatable,
Anyways,
but anyhow.
we saw new champions. We saw, the Ula Fala change hands finally. And we saw CM Punk on top at the end of the night against Seth Rollins, in which I would say is probably one of many of these rubber matches between them. Raw on Netflix, it was the first one. Were you guys impressed, unimpressed? What were you guys feeling about it? I want to start with Shadow. What was his thoughts on Raw on Netflix?
If I remember correctly, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Like when I was talking with Scalz, I
Mhm.
thought the overall presentation of it was great. Um, there was some stuff that, like for you guys, you didn't see what we saw. So like
Right.
the in between the
Yeah,
matches with the interviews was kind of cool.
Shadow has no commercials, so he gets to see every
Right.
fucking thing.
I've seen a lot of U.S. fans displeased with the fact that there was no, Final Testament and why it's sick stuff there was. You guys just didn't see it.
Get a VPN.
Um, Overall, I was a little super fucking annoyed. Sorry if I'm not allowed to swear on here.
No,
Um, with
it's fine.
with Penta being pushed back a week, I feel like he would have got that pop in LA, considering Lucha Underground and all that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
too far from there. He would have got a huge pop, and I feel like they dropped the ball on him there. I'm not dropping the ball completely. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in that instance, the matches were good. The Rhea
Definitely
Liv
didn't hit the
story
moment.
was stupidly predictable, knowing that
Mhm.
they were going into that era. Um, Overall, though, the pace was good. Lots of good, and a lot of people bitching. Oh, it's just an infomercial. Yes, that's the point of what that first Raw was to
Yes,
have
absolutely.
people that are just normally just on Netflix scrolling for something to watch on date night or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? Now WWE is on your TV, and there's a new casual fan born.
Bingo. This
I
was
will I will disagree with the Penta thing. Um,
Mhm.
they never advertised that match for next week. They just said it would be in the future. So I'm not upset with that so much. And they will be in San Jose next week, which is actually closer than LA to Lucha Underground.
Okay.
But they did, though. They did announce it next week. Chad asked for a match next week.
No, that, yes. Chad asked for the match for next week. I'm talking about the week prior. They never said that Penta would be there. They alluded to Penta being Rey
Oh, that was
Mysterio's
just
tag partner, but everybody assumed it'd be
Hmm.
Penta and that it was happening the following week. So that's why everybody thought Penta was going to be there.
so. Then I guess that leads to it kind of squashes everybody's question. Then
What's
What's
happening?
everybody's
he was
question?
going to join LWO or whatever.
Thank God.
Thank God. Yeah.
I
I
didn't
think
want that.
that would have been terrible.
I don't think it would have been terrible. I just don't want him to be lumped into that grouping already. Like, because if you bring him in there, that's going to instantly bring down what his credibility is and how good of a wrestler he actually is.
I
Like
mean,
what they did with Dragon Lee, bringing him up and putting him in there.
and I know that like Penta doesn't need it, but I'm surprised they're sending him straight to the main roster. Like, I know I shouldn't be surprised. I know his skill level. I know he can definitely be on the main roster. I know it's a different era, and I feel like it's kind of just it's unusual. You know, bringing a guy straight in. I think the last time it was really like hit this hard, besides Jacob Fatu, you know, was maybe AJ Styles. I don't count Fatu because of just him joining a faction and being part of a faction, and you know the same with Tama and Tonga. So, but
Yeah, I
for
mean,
me,
MCMG came right to the main roster.
you know,
That'd be more of a comparison, I guess, to what you're trying to say.
it's the hype around Penta and everything with it.
The
But
crowd went nuts when they played his little
they
vignette
did,
with his name.
and I do think it's definitely a missed opportunity not doing it in Los Angeles. Just with the big feel of what that taping was, I really feel like that had the potential to be huge. And we just
Oh,
lost Shadow. He'll be back in just a
no,
minute, probably.
he messaged saying just to drop him down for a moment.
Okay.
He'll let us know when he's back.
But I feel like that's definitely just a missed opportunity. I understand, you know, you're really short for time, all that, and maybe wanting to just take a different approach to it. I understand that.
What's up,
Gang,
Wheels?
gang.
Thanks for stopping
But
by.
I feel like to capitalize on the moment that could have been, they didn't do that with Penta.
Yeah, I get that. I can understand what you're saying.
Like if you're wanting to bring him in and be like, this dude's hot shit, and he's the real deal. But you know, it's WWE. They'll have plenty of time to do that, and they'll do the right thing. I'm not saying they won't. I just feel like for how like the viewership that because this show it's gonna be the most viewership that they're gonna get on a Raw on Netflix, at
I
least
don't know.
for a while. I mean, it's the first one.
Right. I think they're gonna hit numbers like because the way that they calculate the viewership, it's based off of how many hours the show was watched,
Mhm.
and they divide it by how many views.
Right.
But only one it's only the first time you click it counts as a view.
Hmm.
So if you watch it 10 times, you click it 10 times, only the first time you clicked it counts. And that's how they got the number of households. But that's households. That's not how many people actually were watching it.
Right. Right. Right.
So if they base that off of like Nielsen numbers, that would be close to 6 million people watch the show in the US. Because on average
Yeah, which is huge.
there's like 2.8 people I think in a house is the average amount it would be
Yeah,
with
and I was
Nielsen.
saying like most of these people got like what 3 or 4 people in a household,
Right.
but you know, you had the Rock, you had the Ulafala change. I think every match they put on was great. I mean, even Drew and Jay, yeah, the finish was a little sloppy, but it was done on purpose. There's still more to that story.
All the matches
You know,
on that show hit.
all the matches on the show did hit. like they did everything they needed to do to keep the people engaged. And that's exactly, it was a big infomercial, but they didn't alienate their fans, which is, you got something.
What do you think of The Rock? What did you think of that?
Okay, and we'll go into, and we'll talk more about The Rock here. We'll just go right into it. So The Rock. We're not talking about The Rack. We're not talking about our boy Matt Ritter, but
No
The
free
Rock.
shout outs.
No free shout outs. We love you. But The Rock. So everybody was on their soapbox about The Rock this entire week, but especially Tuesday morning. And I was hearing it all over TikTok, all the whiny crybabies, and they're talking about, oh, The Rock is killing the business. Oh, the
Thanks,
business
Jack,
has
for
been
stopping
dead
by. I
since the
appreciate
curtain
it.
call. The business is not the business, okay? But The Rock going out there and giving pretty much his opening monologue, as I would like to put it, during Raw on Netflix. It was pretty much him, and that's not The Rock that was out there. That was Dwayne Johnson that was out there, and he was pretty much introducing everybody to what has been going on in WWE, what is WWE, and pretty much getting the people hyped for WWE. That was Dwayne Johnson as the executive, not
I
The
think
Rock.
it was The Rock. It wasn't the final boss.
No. Well, yes.
That's the differentiation. Yes, it was the Dwayne Johnson, but I still think it was The Rock because that's what people know him as in WWE.
But
And
it
he
was
made a
him that,
valid point the next night on NXT as well.
yes. What I was
So
about to say. So like later on in the night, The Rock absolutely was the final boss. And I think him and everything before was a decoy. Because yeah, and he said it the next night. He was like, "Yo, no, the final boss is still here." But like, it's gonna be great because if we're gonna have Dwayne or The Rock around for a while, like there can be some serious cooking going on. Some serious cooking.
see, I don't think he's staying around. That's just me though.
I mean, my definition of The Rock staying around is he might do Elimination Chamber, he might do Royal Rumble, he might do Mania. I'm not saying, oh, The Rock's gonna be on every other week.
No, I don't think he's doing any of them.
You don't.
Nope.
But then,
That's why he
okay,
did that thing on Raw that way he did. Because I think it was more along the lines of him not being around as much because he is not sure if he can do anything. So I
well,
think he
him
left
not
it
being
open to
sure.
where if he doesn't come back, it won't affect anything.
Well, exactly what I was gonna like. I was thinking, yeah, it could be open, but I do think that he's gonna come back. Like, I think he's gonna be around. Shadow, you still there? You hear us talk about the Rock, not the Rack?
I don't know. I think he might be frozen.
Nope.
I don't know if it does. Well, that could be something now. That could be. I think Shadow's having some technical difficulties over
No,
there.
it's all right.
Want to go on to the next topic, or want to wait to see what Shadows has to say if he has anything?
We can revisit it. On Raw and on NXT, we saw some new champions come along.
3.
Let's talk about the NXT championships.
Oh, because
on
you
the
had
first
all
board.
3. You had all 3 women's titles change hands on the first 3 nights of all 3 shows.
We did. We had. Oh, Shadow's back. We had Tiffany Stratton win the SmackDown Women's strap. We had Rhea Ripley win the World Championship, the Women's World Championship on Raw, and we had Julia winning the NXT Women's strap. How do you feel about the changing of the NXT Women's Championship, Scals, and you can start talking about other NXT championships also. This is your portion of the show, my boy.
Yes. That is what I'm saying. I am so happy that they pulled these title changes on this show. These are moments that we were waiting for the entire time. We thought that Julia was going to win it against Roxanne the first time she faced her, and she
Right.
deserved it. She came in, she is ready to go, and she's going to take over what Roxanne has done. Roxanne was a phenomenal champion, amazing champion the entire time that she was there. There's nothing against her, but it is time for somebody else to get that moment there. As for
It is
Obafemi,
time.
good.
I was
No, you-
saying with Roxanne, I do believe it's time. I think, and I've said this previously many times. I've said Roxanne is ready for the main roster, and that she can be one of the main stars in the women's division for years
Mhm.
ahead. I'm a huge fan of Roxanne. I think Julia being that next step up, I think is definitely great for NXT, and it makes NXT more legit. I'm excited to see what her and Stephanie and also Cora and all those ladies down there. I think they have the best women's roster down there in NXT, and that division will just keep churning and churning out talent. Like that's good. On the NXT side with Obafemi, I think that's a great pick. I know people are all about Trick Williams. I like Trick Williams. I think he's great. I just there's something about me, and I don't know what it is. I still don't think he's ready for the main roster. I just don't. Scals, you were gonna say something.
Obafemi's timing is good. Um,
Yes.
I think it was a little too quick of a opportunity for him to get the title. I think because it was a triple threat, they could have had Trick save the belt and keep it for a little while longer, and then maybe lose it in a one-on-one match versus Oba. It would have made Oba look a little bit better than
Mhm.
having the interference from Eddie Thorpe, because essentially it was a one-on-one match, and Eddie Thorpe came out and got involved in the match, made it a triple threat because he was part of it, but it was a delayed reaction. So I think it would have been better for him to just win one on one and not have that little
Right.
cheapness added to it. But Oba is going to be a beast when he
Yeah.
comes up to the main roster. He will be a champion. There is no doubt on that. It just depends on how quick he gets that belt.
I mean, look at the guy. He's an absolute unit. An absolute unit.
Shadow, you have anything to add or
Almost 2.0.
no way?
No,
Not
no.
at
And
all.
No Moss is doing great in pro wrestling Noah. He's a tag champ. Look at the dude. He's a Adonis. Look at him. He's an
Oba
Adonis.
Oba actually can wrestle. It's a big difference than Omos. And Omos right now is actually putting on some
Better than
pretty
the
good
Big Show.
matches.
Oh yeah,
He just did a nice
better than the
last
Big
ride
Show.
to somebody and looks like he murdered him.
I
Did you want to
do
add a
want to
comment
revisit.
about The
Oh,
Rock?
go
That's
ahead.
what I
I was going to say I do want to revisit Shadow's opinion about The Rock and his recent comments, actions, and all the above.
First, I was extremely pissed off and annoyed because that wasn't The Rock that was coming out. Then I realized what was actually happening. He's coming out as a shareholder slash boss, just introducing the new people to the product, etc. Right. So,
Mhm.
also, can we talk about the fact that we've seen drinking and driving live on television?
I didn't even notice that.
But
Wasn't necessarily paying attention to that.
I mean, they insinuated it because they took shots of tequila. but you don't know what's actually in the bottles.
No, The
To
Rock,
be
it's
fair.
just water.
I mean, it's The Rock, so it probably was tequila, but still.
Oh man,
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Will brought up a good point too.
dude. Yes, Travis Scott living out Will's dream
What's up, Husky? How are we doing tonight?
of straight rips from the blunt on a wrestling show.
You
I
had
mean,
Pat McAfee saying, "Make sure you give me some of that when you get down here."
right? I mean,
He asked him,
I just I love how like it's just everything's just cool, and it's one of those things. Is it's like not saying that like the blunt. It's just Travis Scott being there, and how they're just wrestling's cool. It's mainstream. Everything about it. And you get that type of rub, the Travis Scott rub. You get all the celebrities that were there, just the neatness of it. And wrestling, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
"We're gonna see Travis Scott again.
Oh yeah,
They're
I
gonna do
mean,
something with that hardcore championship he has. I know it. I just feel it."
well, what that hardcore championship is what should have been what the dang 24/7 title was. But
I agree.
Not
I
wrong.
digress.
Not wrong.
I digress.
Uncle, sorry for the technical difficulties. Bluetooth headphones sent my computer for a loop, so that was fun.
No, you're
Oh
cool.
no, you're good. Anyways, going on to something else that I've been wanting to talk about. Vince McMahon. He tweeted out the other day that the SEC and the government um, finally conducted their or closed his case against him, and that there was actually, let me just pull up the tweet here. He said, "The case is closed. Today ends nearly 3 years of investigation by different governmental agencies. There's been a great deal of speculation about what exactly the government was investigating and what the outcome would be. As today's resolution shows, which that was January 10th, which was yesterday, much of that speculation was misguided and misleading. In the end, there was never anything more to this than minor accounting errors. I don't know how much I believe that, but anyways, with regard to some personal payments that I made several years ago while I was the CEO of WWE, I'm thrilled that I can now put this all behind me." All right, let me just put it out in the open. This frees up Vince McMahon to do his own thing. I don't think, and by any means, everybody should know it's not WWE. He's not going back. He will never be back. There's no chance in hell. I know in the wrestling business, there's never say never, but I have a feeling. No. What I do think though is that him and Kevin Dunn, and just kind of from everything I've heard, they're probably going to start their own production company. And will it be wrestling? Will it be movies? Whatever.
I'm
I think
hoping
it
it's
probably
porn.
lean.
Just saying.
Yeah, Will is saying in the chat he wants to do movies and TV. He's starting a video production house, so you're right on point with that, Jamie.
I mean, that's we make movies.
No,
I mean, if they made a movie about wrestling, that's probably. I mean, that's the thing. Like, there could be a little bit of wrestling in there just because of that. That's all he's done for the last almost 50 years. But you know Vince, he's not gonna lay down and just retire. That's not him. And he'll keep Bucky Beaver around, give him a job, and Laurinaitis is on his own. So there you go. So how does everyone feel about what is next for Vince McMahon, and if there's
what
anything even next for him? I mean,
what's next? Court.
yeah,
He still has
Absolutely. For
the Janelle
you know,
Grant case. He's not in the clear
yeah,
yet.
of
He
course.
thinks it's all done.
Yeah.
It's not. There's still much more to go on. So we're not hearing the last of Vince, unfortunately. But nothing good is coming from him. Just needs to go away and be done with it.
I'm not gonna say that out loud.
That's why I
Big
typed
What?
it.
Oh,
But
oh, jeez.
anyways, getting on to my next
Shadow, you have any comments
little
on
thing
him
here.
outside of what you typed?
I'm gonna
Yeah,
just call me Vince McMahon. I plead the fifth.
gosh. Bill Goldberg. So Raw is coming to Atlanta. It's going to be on the 4th episode. And we know past tense, he has talked on College Game Day when they were in Athens, Georgia, about doing a retirement match within WWE. And this was after his appearance at the Bad Blood pay per view and his confrontation with Gunther. Bill Goldberg is going to get his retirement match. We don't know when and where, but I know that Atlanta and Netflix on the 4th edition of the show is coming to Atlanta, GA, and Goldberg is probably going to be there. What do you think will
He's
come of
actually
this?
advertised for the show.
See, he's actually
They're
advertising.
advertising him on the posters at the arena.
Well, I'm not in Atlanta. I'm gonna know.
No, I'm just saying. I saw that report out there that he was
I mean, you read more into
advertised
this
on the
stuff.
posters.
I'm sorry, I'm a bad host and don't do my research, but Bill
not-
Goldberg
You're not a
will
bad
be there.
host.
And do you think he's gonna have more interaction with Gunther? Is there gonna be some face to face? And do you think this will lead up to a potential match between him and Gunther for the retirement match? Or what do you think is gonna come of trying to set up Bill Goldberg for the retirement?
I think what happens is Gunther's going to have a match at Royal Rumble, which is a couple days after that appearance. Beforehand, there will be a backstage segment between Gunther and him, or even in the ring, who knows, that is going to set Goldberg off. Goldberg's going to make an appearance at the Rumble and cost whoever, or cost Gunther whoever he's facing, thus getting them the champion, setting up Mania match between Gunther and Goldberg.
I agree with everything you said, Shadow. Except I think you're going to see it live. I think it's going to be at Elimination Chamber.
I was gonna say I don't think it's
going to be a
they're
Mania.
gonna do that.
That'll be too long.
Live.
I know you don't want
I
to see it.
think
That's
they'll
why.
Listen, I've seen Bill Goldberg live.
I think they're gonna do
I've
it
seen
in
him live.
Toronto.
2016, 3 minutes match against Brock Lesnar. I'll pass.
And I think the way the finish will go is Goldberg's whooping his ass, and then next thing you know, all you hear is da 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 ba da da ba ba da da. Oh my God! It's Bret Hart. Puts Goldberg in the sharpshooter. Gunther knocks him out.
Listen, if I see
He takes
Goldberg,
up Goldberg.
if I see
Boom. Gunther wins. That's how I see it.
Goldberg in Toronto, I'm storming the ring, boys.
Oh, we're gonna see Shadow get his arse kicked.
So
And
you
I
mean
do
we'll see
agree
you
with
live
that.
on Peacock?
I agree with Will. Well, I mean, if you're not in the U.S., you'll see it live on Netflix.
Is that what the PLE is?
Telling you, if Bill Goldberg comes to WWE in Toronto, I will storm that ring.
How much do you want to put on it?
Al, I mean, is everything okay? You're agreeing a lot with me tonight. I know
Al's being held
do have.
hostage.
He's being held hostage.
How much you want to put on that?
On what?
Put on shit.
No, on Shadow. If Goldberg shows up,
Keep that man away from Toronto. I don't care. I will fucking find his car and flatten the tires before he gets to the event.
Oh man.
I'm telling you,
Let's
fuck
see.
that guy. I seen him in 2016. He ruined a main event of a good night. Fuck that guy.
Alrighty, enough talking about
I've seen him in WCW.
Bret
That was
Hart's
enough.
least favorite person. Let's talk about someone we actually like here. Is it Alistair or is it Malachi? The last name's Black, neither
It's
less.
Tommy.
And it
It's Tommy
feels
End.
like, WWE has expressed interest in bringing him back into the fold, but what is his status still with AEW? Just from reports from people inside of AEW, they're not sure if he is coming back to AEW, but nothing has been
There you go,
official.
Shadow. Tommy's agreeing with you.
I get it, Tommy End. Like I was watching, what's that? What's that promotion? What is it? ICW. Watching like Drew Galloway versus Tommy End. Those matches were off the chain. But I would love to see Aleister Black back in the WWE, where he belongs. And so, what do you think is next for Mr. Black, Mr. End, Mr. whatever you want to call him? Is it going back to AEW and continuing with the House of Black and everything with it, or is he coming back home to WWE?
His time in AEW is done. His contract will be up by the end of February. I don't think it's any sooner than that. So, if it is, possibly see him at a Rumble, but I don't think we're going to get him until after Mania.
That'd be cool if it was the Raw after Mania.
And if Zelina's still on Raw, that's where it will be. And we're going to get him with his entrance, his NXT entrance.
That'd be so cool. I mean, you say that, but it's also like, look at Karrion Kross, but Karrion Kross is doing amazing stuff. Friend of the show, by the way. But Aleister Black being back in the fold would be absolutely amazing, I think. Shadow, I think, would probably say the same thing. Ain't the right Shadow. Awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm here.
I mean, I mean, one of the bright spots and one of the positive spots, at least for me, when I was watching AEW, the little that I do is the House of Black stuff. I'm a big fan of Brody King, big fan of Julia Hart. I love what Buddy can do in the ring, and those guys will do absolutely great even without him. So I think for him coming back to the WWE would be the best thing for him to do.
The interview
I
that
think
Julia
they
Hart
need to bring Brody with them.
that would be nice.
Bring the House of Black to WWE and put Zelina Vega as the manager there instead of was it Penelope?
No, it was Julia Hart.
Julia Hart, and she's great too.
She just did an interview, and she credits.
She won't ever come to WWE though. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
She credits Malachi with a lot of her tutelage and helped her get better.
Or even if you bring them all, you include Zelina, and then you have them go for the women's tag titles, and then you have I'm sure there'll be something else, but the House of Black. I think that stable would work in WWE with the right presentation.
That's great. That's great, Will.
Alrighty. Into the next conversation piece, which is probably a lot of people's least favorite of said conversation pieces. Tonight
He
we are
sucks.
talking about
Next
HH's
topic.
brother.
Next topic. He sucks.
Nah, listen here, brothers. No, but Hulk Hogan. We saw him on the Raw on Netflix. WWE and Hulk Hogan came to an agreement. They're purchasing, I think, a minority? I think it's actually a majority share of the Real American Beer, and they're going to kind of take a lot of that stuff over. And with that being said, Hulk Hogan appeared to promote said beer brand and Netflix and WWE in Los Angeles in the Inlet Dome, and it didn't go quite the way that anybody, probably except the internet and Sheiky Baby up in the sky above, would have thought. Yes.
I agree with Al.
Yes.
I mean, go read my comments on the sidebar.
Yeah, I read them.
Let's. Yeah.
I don't think we'll be seeing Hogan much anymore.
I mean, I think we will see.
Apparently, there'll be no
Hogan?
live anyways.
I mean, I'm not sure we'll see necessarily Hogan like live in the ring or like at shows, but like on commercials and stuff like that, we'll see Hogan. Hogan will be around. He's a lifer. He'll be around. But something that Sean Rossap of Fightful has put out. He put this out 3 hours ago. He said WWE has been reevaluating how they would use Hulk Hogan in conjunction with their Real American Beer sponsorship. This also includes pitches for other talent to serve as the endorsement face. So it's one of those things is that they're trying to take action for what's already happened and trying to see how they can pivot. With that being said, the Stars are up on the Canadians 2-1.
If I ever see Hulk Hogan on Raw again, it better be Bronson Reed tsunamiing the shit out of him.
He already said he wants to.
No. How much? I love that. That would be awesome. We all know, and I know we don't talk.
Bronson Reed is the best thing on Twitter right now while he's injured. He's the best thing. If you're not following him, go follow him.
Absolutely. On to the next and final discussion piece, at least that we have on format tonight. That is Darby Allin. It is being reported that Darby Allin, not Arby, my big back self, think of Arby's.
Somebody's hungry.
Exactly. Darby Allin is going to be absent from AEW programming, and he is getting ready for his Mount Everest expedition. This man will probably.
So he can't kill himself enough in the ring that he wants to go climb Mount Everest and try dying there.
You said what I wasn't going to say. Yes. I mean, the man's been hit by a freaking bus.
You're trashing him and you're Deadpool. Yes, he had a broken nose, was out injured, and got hit by a bus while he was out. Oh, he had a broken foot. Sorry. Why with the broken foot? He got hit by a bus in New York City.
I mean, someone's trying to tell you something. Like,
yeah, and the last time he was supposed to go climb Mount Everest, he broke his foot. I think that was a sign not to do it.
That's a sign. This guy's too dumb to be like, oh no, I'm just gonna go.
I'm gonna go do it anyway.
Oh, Jeff Hardy's never climbed Mount Everest. I'll climb it.
Oh man, Jeff Hardy just climbed a different mountain. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he got to about the 10th step of that mountain. Anyways,
take me higher.
And that's the thing. I like Darby Allin. You know, he's a likable guy. To the place where a blind man see. Come on. That being said, Darby Allin's a likable guy. He's a good wrestler for the most part. I think he just doesn't have it up here much. Taking too many bumps on the bump card. How many more? I mean, Bazinga.
Little too many
And I
to
think,
hits to the head.
and those are the tags for tonight here on the Hot Tag. Thank you, Shadow. Thank you, Scalz. I'm Jamie. Also, before we go, we have one more thing that we're going to discuss here. We see the champions as we start out 2025. Who do we all see as world champs by the end of 2025? This is WWE, AEW, and TNA, men and women's.
That's a good question.
Huh.
It's a great question.
Okay.
That's why I put it there.
WWE, I'm going to say Randy Orton.
Oh, that's bold.
So, are we saying who will be world champions in 2025, or they will have the belts
Like,
heading into 2026?
like on January 1st, 2026.
I agree
So,
that one of them will be Randy Orton.
huh?
I'll just pull out the nostalgia card. Orton, Cena, because Cena will go out as champion.
Right.
I think Orton's taking it from Cena.
And
AEW, I'm
would
going to
that start
say.
the
Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. You have the floor.
AEW, I'm going to go with MJF again.
Yeah.
And then TNA, I don't pay attention enough to give you an honest answer.
Okay. Scouts.
Who is even the champion right now in TNA?
Nick Nemeth.
Oh, Nick Nemeth. Okay. TNA, I think Moose is going to be champion again by the end of the year.
Mm.
For AEW, I think we are going to get I think Christian will be the champion by the end of the year.
You need to cope harder.
WWE, it's going to be Orton, and I think Braun Breaker will be the other one.
Braun Breaker. Okay. Okay. So for me in TNA, I think it's going to be
Good
Joe
call.
Henry.
Who'd you say for TNA?
Joe Hendry.
I was going to say him,
Or
but I think he'll be in WWE by then.
for AEW, I think it's going to be Christian Cage. Or the Last Outlaw. JE No, no, Christian Cage. And WWE, I think it's going to be. Let's see. I think one of them is going to be CM Punk. And I think the other one is going to be Randy Orton.
Who?
Randy Orton and CM Punk.
Orton. Okay.
Yeah. I think that sets up Randy Orton phasing his career out.
We're going to go women's now?
We can go women's. You want to start, Scouts?
I hate this one
And
for
I mean, we don't.
TNA. I hate this one for TNA.
I already know where you're going.
I really hope it's not her, but I think they're going to give it to Tessa.
Oh,
If they give it to her, people are going to stop watching, and that's not what they need right now.
maybe.
Women's, I think we're going to have Charlotte one of them, and I think Io Sky is going to be the other. And AEW, I think Thunder Rosa gets it
Oh,
by the
you
end of
think?
the year.
Okay. Shadow?
Raw champion will be Julia. SmackDown champion will be Jordan Grace. AEW will be. Excuse me. NXT will be Cora Jade. AEW will be. I don't even want to think about it, but most likely it'll probably be Mercedes still because that's how she books her shit.
Oh,
But if I had to be a betting man, I might go with Diana.
yeah.
I would love that.
And then AEW probably Tessa or TNA, excuse me, probably Tessa.
hmm I think TNA Tessa. I think WWE will probably be Charlotte and Becky. That's gonna be some bold predictions out there. AEW, I think the women's world champ will be Mercedes Moné. I think she'll have the big belt.
Instead of 4 mid card belts that she has right now.
I mean, she'll still have those. I think she'll be a belt collector. She'll have the full on gimmick. I mean,
I hope Mercedes never wins the big championship ever again.
I hope not either, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. With that being said, Mercedes Moné is the champ of all champions. I'm Jamie.
Wait, what?
This is
She's the what?
the champ of all champs.
You are not ending our show like that.
Aubrey Edwards is the best referee alive.
No, whoa. I don't need
No,
Trash
whoa,
Monet and Aubrey Edwards talk on my show. I'm sorry.
whoa.
We don't need Trash Monet being praised here. And Horseface needs to stay
Oh.
off of our screens.
Wow. I was gonna say first episode and Scalz crashes out.
Don't be rude, Scalz.
What about Mr. Ed up in here, bro?
I didn't call her that. You
Not
did.
Mr. Ed.
I didn't call her that. She is still a
There's
female.
a reason it's called Hot
Oh,
Tag.
the hot tag.
Emphasis on the hot.
But
Anyways, it's getting hot. It's getting spicy. Scalz is crashing out, and Shadow, my Canadian friend, has been here for the entirety of it, and I am thankful of it. My name is Jamie Rose, and if you haven't already, go like us and subscribe to us wherever you're watching this. Share us with the hashtag hot tag. Follow me at Jamie Rose PW. You can find me on all of the socials with at Jamie Rose PW. You can find me calling the action with my boy Jake Hatley at Diamond State Wrestling. We're having a great year with that, and it's going to be fantastic. And we just want to thank you guys for joining us for our first episode of the Hot Tag. I'm very thankful for you guys. Scats.
I'm Scalz. You can find me here on Friday night. This will normally be on Friday nights after SmackDown with Jamie Rose, and Tuesday nights after NXT for NXT on Tap. You can also find us on YouTube at Off the Top Media, as well as Off the Top Media _ on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. So make sure you go subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Will is talking about RuneScape in the chat. Love him for it.
Oh, this is great.
Shadow?
If you haven't already, watch Will on his I think TikTok probably. He's playing RuneScape or Fortnite or whatever. And I probably should just start with our guest first. I'm a little rusty
That's
here.
okay.
Shadow, what do you want to plug? What do you want to do?
Y'all really should talk. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shadow. You can catch my content on Off the Top Media. That guy's Shadow's Spotlight with Shadow. My season's coming to an end here. A few weeks left in the season. We'll have some great guests. Make sure to pay attention for the upcoming season finale with Mr. Jimmy Corderas. which is by far one of the greatest interviews I've had yet to date. We dive into a lot of topics. If you want to know them, tune in. With that being said, I'm Shadow. Go to my socials. ThatGuyShadow91.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shadow, for joining us tonight. And for that being said, I'm Jamie. He's Scalz, and we are the Hot Tag. Thank you, guys.